The president had initially took office on a claim that he was going to stop largely the unauthorized entrance of immigrants or the undocumented population. But very shortly after taking office, he actually attacked specifically legal immigration. And he did so to the business community through his order called Buy American, Hire American policy. That came out in April 2017, just a few months after taking office. What that's resulted in our experience, my experience as a business immigration practitioner, is several changes. And as Sarah was describing, this is why it's so difficult to undo what the administration has done, because these changes have come out through various kinds of policy memorandum that you cannot just rewrite overnight. This has included, for example, just making it harder for companies to sponsor foreign workers by increasing the numbers of requests for evidence for documents and long boilerplate templated requests. This has gone up 3 times the amount that by prior administrations, by suspending something called premium processing that allows employers to quickly be able to make an offer to a potential employee and then process their immigration paperwork within a matter of a couple of weeks. But with multiple suspensions of premium processing, those have taken months, and it's become difficult for the movement of labor, which is critical to the success of business and our economy. From removing the deference in prior approvals, meaning where a company had somebody that they have sponsored in the past and then wanted to seek an extension of their work visa, those cases are now reviewed anew, and all of the prior documentation that they have previously provided is now ignored. To requiring interviews for employment-based green card holders, green card applicants, under the guise of protecting our national security. Having gone to numerous of those interviews, I have yet to see how national security is even raised in a single one of those interviews, and it has become actually creating a backlog in overall immigration handling. So now coming back to where we are, if you look at these previous actions as whittling away at the business immigration process, the proclamations post-COVID-19 are essentially a sledgehammer to business immigration. Those 2 orders, the April 22nd and the 24th, I'll focus on the June 24th order rather, which implicated H-1B workers who are specialty occupation workers, seasonal workers under the H-2A program, J-1 exchange visitors, and the L1 executives, managers, and specialized knowledge workers of multinational corporations. Okay, so how did the president do this? I think that's one question we've got to ask ourselves. How was the president able to do this? He did so under Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, which permits the president to bar immigrants if he finds, and this is important, if he finds that it is in our national interest. So that implicit in that section that gives the president these powers is the notion that the president has to make a finding. And in the past, our courts have been hands off of the president's powers because they're usually rooted in national security interests as opposed to a domestic economic policy. And that's what he's done here. He's testing these waters where he's claiming, I've got the right to bar immigrants because it's in our national interest, because it's against our it harms our economy. And I think that this is significant because study after study by economists have shown that immigrants do not harm our economy, and in fact grow our economy and have multiple spillover impacts into the local economy. So I think it's critical here that we don't fall into this trap in believing that the president can do anything by proclamation just because he claims this notion of a national interest. And in fact, what I'd like to go into those economics really quickly, if I may. First, the math itself doesn't add up. Okay, so the president argued, as well as his surrogates have stated, that over 525,000 U.S. jobs would be protected by the actions he has taken. They maybe blocked about 167,000 people, because all of these bars relate to people who are outside of the United States, not in the United States, and there's just not that many people that would have been impacted by the bar. So there's not 525,000 jobs that are being protected. You know, these studies that show that immigrants indeed help grow our economy. First off, there's innovation. Okay, foreign workers in STEM fields are critical to the innovation in the growth of patents. This is acknowledged by the Department of Homeland Security itself. Okay, so the administration, you know, the Department of Homeland Security acknowledged in its own reports when it wanted to seek extensions of OPTs that foreign workers help stimulate innovation. This was also argued by the Cato Institute in their study recently in May 2020, and as recently as the Department of Homeland Security's move to increase immigration filing fees. They specifically state, and I'll quote it here, "We recognize that immigrants and international students make significant contributions to the U.S. technology industry." That was just 2 weeks ago. Then there's entrepreneurship, okay? Immigrants are twice as likely to start businesses than U.S.-born natives. And so that is important. That's critical to our recovery. And third, there's the job multiplier effect. And a study by the American Enterprise Institute for Public Policy Research gave a good example. For every 100 H-1B workers, it results in an additional 183 jobs for U.S. natives. For every 100 H-2B workers, it results in an additional 464 jobs for U.S. natives. The overall ripple effect is there's actually job creation, and our economy does better with the immigrants. In particular, the high-skilled workers in H-1B programs tend to be part of that job creation process. There has been high unemployment rates since COVID-19, but the reality is that it has not been in the STEM fields. So in January, we were unprecedented low rates of unemployment in the STEM fields of 3%. Just after the pandemic, and as early as in studies from May of this year, those rates are at 2.5%, because these are the critical workers. They're the workers, frankly, they're the workers that are allowing us to have the Zoom call right now, right? They're the ones that we need to allow us to get back on our feet and be able to work remotely and provide the technologies that we all need.